Welcome to our second paycheck closeout for the month of April. I feel like I've been saying this a lot lately, but I'm looking forward to April being over. April is my busiest month of the entire year with work, and so a lot of times my job isn't stressful at all, but in the month of April I am planning this huge event for work, and so I'm working a lot of extra hours, and just my brain is more full of things than it usually is. And so I'm not able to retain a lot of what's going on with my personal life the way that I like to, or my budget. Usually I have a great idea of exactly where we are all the time, week to week, day to day, where we are with our spending in each category, and I know exactly what's going on. But I just don't have that grasp of things in April, and even in March leading up to April. So it always feels a little chaotic and out of control for me, and I don't like that. So I'm looking forward to April being over, but we're about halfway there. So we're gonna close out our second paycheck. I don't know how this is gonna go, so come on, let's go find out.
Hi, I'm Megan with Bethel Budgets. I'm here because it's more than just math. At some point, you've probably built a budget. You've laid out your income, you've laid out your expenses, and thought it's simple math. I'll just stick to what's on the paper. But then life happened and your budget didn't work out. The reason? Because it's more than just math. That's where I come in. Let's figure this out together. Don't give up. You've got this.
So on the screen, you can see that I have my Every Dollar. This is the app that I use to do all of our tracking with. I keep every day, I sit down and I log all of our transactions. So this is connected to my bank account and my credit card. Every time we swipe for something, the transaction automatically pops up in Every Dollar, and then I can take that and put it in the correct category that it goes in based on what I budgeted for and how I track that spending. So that keeps us on track for each category, so we know exactly how we're doing in each category. So I can click it to see how much we've spent in each category and how much remains. So we always have an idea of how we're doing. And then on this side of the screen, on the left, you can see my spreadsheet for my weekly budget closeout. So I always do everything on my Remarkable. I'm a pen and paper kind of girl, but when it comes to doing this level of math, it's just faster to do this on a Google Sheet because it auto calculates everything for me, and it color codes. If I have extra money, it's green. If I am over budget, it is red. If I'm right on, it's either white or black, depending on what color the box is. So we're going to jump right in. On this spreadsheet here, you can see all of my categories and due dates. Those came directly from my monthly budget. So did this light tannish pink column here. All of these numbers, this is my monthly budget right here. These light purple columns came from my weekly spending plan. So once you do your monthly base budget and you get that down to zero, then you do your weekly spending plan. So you're planning out each paycheck and how much money you get for that paycheck and what comes out of each paycheck. And that's what goes in these light purple columns all across the way. So you have each week planned out. These medium purple columns here are us coming back in each paycheck and putting in what we actually spent each paycheck. So this right here, this was our first paycheck of the month, week 1 paycheck. We're doing week 2 paycheck. So I'm gonna put in what I actually made. So I planned to, on the 4th, I planned to get paid $2,400. And if I look over here at my, I'm all the way at the bottom. If I look over here at my Every Dollar, I can see that my spouse's paycheck, I planned on $2,400 and I got $2,500. So if I come back over here to my spreadsheet, I actually did get paid on the 4th, so I can put that date in there. And then I put $2,500 as the amount. And then when I hit enter, that amount will show this amount plus the rollover from what I didn't spend in my first week paycheck. So there were some things that I didn't do, like the tithe, because of where the weekend fell. I didn't pay that tithe out of that first paycheck yet, so I'll pay it out of this one. So there was rollover. So what I earned this paycheck plus the rollover then goes into this remaining column, and that'll auto total as we go down. Now I'll start filling in what I actually spent for each of these categories. So I plan to spend $240 in tithe. So if we come over here to every dollar and we scroll down, I spent $259.93. Some of that is where the weekend lied. Some of that is getting that extra money out of that paycheck. There. So now my remaining total changed, and then it showed that I had a difference of $19.93 because I planned $240 and I spent $259.93. I'm not too worried about that because I had zero here. So I'm still playing catch up. My weekends just did not align, and it's my busiest week or my busiest month of the year. Once my event is over and I can really concentrate, my husband and I are going to have to sit down and get caught up on some things. So this category is done. Now let's come down here to savings. I didn't put anything in my sinking funds. I'll do that next week. Come down to housing. Let's go over to housing in every dollar. Let me plug in these numbers and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so for housing, I planned to spend $150 on my water. Water sewer trash for me I used to do it like a sinking fund. Now I do it like an envelope. I used to transfer $150 into my sinking fund, and then it's an every other month bill. And I got tired of transferring that over for 1 month and then pulling it back. So now I just leave that in my checking account as like a buffer. So this isn't actually a pay month. This is a save month. So that $150 will just stay in there as a buffer. And then cable internet was $19.99 last month. This month, I thought we were losing that grant, so it was going to go up to $50, but it looks like they just took out the $19.99. So I guess that's a bonus for us. So we have $30 extra that hopefully we will get to transfer to savings at the end of the month. Let's scroll down to food, and I will enter those numbers and be right back with you. Okay, so for food, we are doing really, really good. We are $19.70 under budget in our groceries for this week. And then last week we were $29 under budget for our groceries this last week. So we're doing good for groceries, which we've really been trying to watch. However, 3 of our kids are getting baptized, and so we're gonna have a little gathering over here after to celebrate. And I think we'll probably blow our grocery budget for that, because that's not something that I had saved for. I didn't have a sinking fund for that or anything. And so feeding all these people will just have to come out of our grocery budget, but we'll see. Maybe this will definitely help us in that department. So let's see, we've got family dining out. We were $14.33 over last week, but we are $15.65 under for this week. So overall, that's still a positive. Date night, we haven't sent anything yet. I've been too busy to go on a date with my husband. We need to fix that, definitely. Once the dinner is over, we will definitely fix that. Fellowship, we planned 100 and we spent $37.50 this week and $3.23 last week. So we are doing really, really good in that one. This is the first time food category has looked this good for us in a long time. I'm really excited. Hopefully that'll really help us out. Maybe we'll have some extra to transfer to our sinking funds at the end of this month. Okay, let's go down to transportation. I'll enter these numbers and I'll be right back with you. Okay, transportation, we are under budget in all of those categories as well. We are $19.20 under budget on gas, and again, we haven't gotten a car wash. It's just been a rainy mess around here lately, so there's not been a whole lot of point in it. Whenever I think it's time to go get a car wash, it rains anyway, and then it's all rinsed off. It's not like I do a better job, I think, in the winter when the cars get all that salt, and my kids, one of my youngest calls them car sprinkles, and it looks really gross on the car, but now we're starting to get pollen, so I'll probably start doing the car washes again. So for now, though, we've got $75 under budget, so that's good. That's good for us. Let's go down to personal, and I'll enter those numbers and be right back with you. Okay, busy months are good for us. We don't spend a lot of money. Maybe we spend money when we're bored. I don't know. This is a pattern. I think it's interesting to watch. But our phone, that's fine on. It's mostly the same every single month. Shopping, we are about to hit that, so we need to stop. We have $9.86 left in that. So when my husband and I meet tomorrow to talk about to do our state of the family meeting, I will definitely bring that up, that we are done shopping for the month. We only have $9.86 left. Hair and cosmetics, we haven't spent anything on yet because my appointment, I think that's next week, which I'm looking forward to. And then birthdays, there haven't been any birthday parties this month. My husband's birthday was this month, but again, I have sinking funds for all of our birthdays. My son was invited to a birthday party, but I think that the birthday party isn't until May. It might be the end of April, so I have to check on that. So we may use a little bit of that, but so far that's pretty good. That'll really help, because I know also that with my HSA being messed up, some of this will need to go to HSA. So we'll see how we do at the end. I'm looking forward now, as scared as I was, because I honestly had no idea how we were doing with our spending. Now I'm kind of looking forward to the end of April monthly budget closeout. I think we might have a lot of extra to transfer this month. That will be nice to make up for last month. Okay, lifestyle. Let me enter these numbers and I'll be right back with you. Okay, lifestyle, it looks like we have a red number here, but I'm not worried about that at all, because this entertainment category, if you've seen my other videos that explain how I do this, the entertainment category is made up of 5 due dates. If I were to list all of those, it's like Netflix, Disney Plus, Accountable to You, our Bark subscription, maybe Apple, something else that we have in there. It's a bunch of those different types of subscriptions. I don't want to add 5 lines to my spreadsheet, so I just call it entertainment. I could probably call it accountability software too, because there's a couple of those in there. You can call it whatever you want, but instead of adding 5 lines to your spreadsheet, you can just list it as one category, and then you see I have a bunch of different due dates here. And then my first due date is so close to the first of the month that I put all the money for that whole month of entertainment, I put it on the first of the month, and then I treat that as an envelope. So I put that $71 like it'll be needed the first of the month, and then this subscription comes out here, and then these subscriptions come out here, and then next week another subscription will come out. So by the end of the month, all of that $71 is used up, but it's come out as an envelope. I don't have to. I could break that up. I could be more scientific about it and break it up depending on when those are due, but I don't want to do that. You can do it however works best for your brain. For me, this works just fine. So that rollover. So while that looks like a red number, I'm not panicking because I know this number from last week was green. I think that's easier for me because I came off of an envelope system. We used to do the envelope system, but now digital tracking is what's best for our family. Health. This is the one that got us last month, and I'm afraid it's going to get us again. They still did not fix my HSA. I am a strongly worded email type of person, and I sent one, and it will be fixed for next month, and this won't be a problem again, but I'm going to have to apply for reimbursements for some of these things, and that's just how it's going to be. So we're going to have red numbers here. The gym hasn't come out yet. That should come out on the next one. Let me plug in these numbers. I'll be right back with you. Okay, so like I thought, we had some doctor's appointments that did come out of our regular credit card. There will be some supplements that did come out of our regular credit card because our HSA wasn't funded this month like I had planned on. So I'm having to pay those with our regular credit card, and then I'll get reimbursement from my HSA once that is funded again. It's just putting us a little behind and causing extra steps, which we can handle one step at a time. It will be okay. It's just a hassle for right now, especially happening during the busiest month of my work year. So we'll get there. It'll be okay. But yeah, so that looks like a red number, but I'm hoping with all of those other green numbers we had above, this will kind of wash out and I don't have to stress. I don't feel stressed about this. While it's an extra thing to do, I don't feel stressed about that. I'll be okay. Debt, let's scroll down and I'll enter those numbers and be right back with you. Okay, the only thing I planned to pay for my debt for this week was the $63 for my phone that I put on that 0% interest credit card, which I'm still plugging away a little bit at a time on that one until some of our other stuff like the house and the basement are caught up, and then we'll finish paying off that phone lickety split. But for right now, I just snapped. That is the cue for my big dog to come over and see what I need. Hold on, we're about to get interrupted. I know. Yeah, this is Ralphie. Go lay down. He gets very worried. You didn't do anything wrong. You are not in trouble. I know. You are not out. Pull my hair. You're not in trouble. It's okay. You're a good boy. Go lay down. I forgot what I was going to say. The dog wiped my brain. Okay. So, oh yeah, I said lickety split and I snapped and then the dog came over. Okay. So, we'll be paying off that debt as quick as we can as soon as some of these other things in our house are taken care of, and we'll be out of debt again. We started the year off with no debt, and then immediately we had all those emergencies. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, you can go watch my emergency fund update video where I explain all the things that happened and how we plan to get out of those. And that's what's going on there. So let's go down. Insurance, we don't do here because we do sinking funds for all of those things. And then our what else category just kind of captures everything else that we may, we need a place for. So spouse spending, let's find that on, oops, every dollar. I scrolled. I hope this video works because my computer crashed and I had to reinstall my video software and it seems to be very slow and laggy today. We'll find out. Hopefully I don't have to re-record this video. Let me input these numbers and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so my husband's doing good on his spending so far. I need to update him that he has $21 left to spend. I only have $4. I'm not a spender, and I think I need to remove my own spending because now that I have a spending budget, I've been spending money and it feels good, but I don't know that I like it. I'm not a spender, and now that I have permission to spend, I have been. I don't know how I feel about that psychologically yet. I should probably talk to somebody about that. Anyway, all of my kids have done their budgeting and that's going well. So every month they get an income. Sorry, my dogs are just misbehaving today. That was Baxter looking out the window. So now I've upset both of the dogs who I didn't know were in the room while I was recording. All the kids have gotten their income. They get an income once a month. When they turn 10, they get an income. They can earn more based on their pay chores that they want to do, but they sit with mom once a month and they give, save, spend, and they have sinking funds for all of the things that they want to save for, like phones and cars and Pokemon cards is one of the things we're saving for now. And their first job is to save an emergency fund for their Chromebook. And then once they get a phone, they have to have an emergency fund to replace their phone and all of those things that they are learning how to do with mom. So We've gotten to the bottom of our week and it looks like we are doing really, really good for this month. I'm really proud of us. Last week we had $659.20 to roll over, and some of that was money that hadn't been spent yet. And I do still know we are in that position for our tithe. We still owe a week of tithe, we still plan to give a week of tithe. That was a poor choice of words, not like a bill. It's something that we choose to give, and we give happily and freely, but it's in my plan to give still, that we still have not done that when we plan to. So we still plan to give that. Everything else we are just under budget on. So we might have some extra money at the end of the month. Now, I don't look at this number, this $15.20, and say, ooh, I've got all this extra money. I'm not gonna plan on that yet. I'm gonna wait until my monthly budget closeout at the very end of the month. Still got one more paycheck coming in, and then I will close out the whole month after tracking our spending for the rest of the month and see how we did overall for the whole month. And are we over budget, under budget, or right on budget? And what are we going to do, and what is our plan if we are in any of those three categories? So that's how I figure that out. But it's looking good so far, and I'm really encouraged and excited to see that even though I was busy and not keeping as close of an eye as I normally like to, that we did okay. Whew. Okay, if you are not tracking your spending every single day, get started. You need to be tracking your spending. If you haven't built your monthly budget yet, it's time to start thinking about that for next month. You can get ahead and start building your May budget. Start building your May budget right now. Start planning ahead for all the things you need to plan for May. Get ahead on that budget. Start thinking about how you're going to track your spending for May. Get yourself a monthly budget. Start tracking your spending. You can do this. You've got this.